That might not be true. That might not be true. I gave Travis artistic creation for my fun fact, and that was pretty good. Just like your bicep. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Laura, and I'd love to talk to you about one of my most favorite topics, which is designing a culture. The photo here is a photo I captured last year when we launched at Arc'teryx Equipment our new company vision. What I see when I look at this photo is a collection of people, of friends, all gathered in a place with common values, common goals, common behaviors, looking towards and working towards a shared vision. To me, that's culture. Question. I know it's late in the afternoon, so there will be audience interactivity. Tell me, by raising one or two hands in the air, who is madly, deeply, passionately in love with the work that you do every day? Yes. Okay, be honest, the camera's on me, you're good. Okay, that's pretty healthy, that's good. Okay, and who isn't? Who's not having a great time right now? And we're all friends in the room, there's high psychological safety, and again, the camera's on me. Oh, okay, we'll wait till wine time. Chances are at least 10 of you are not having the best time. Over to teams. Who is working on a team that you just can't get enough of? You love them maybe more than you love your family. Okay, good. We're dipping. Okay, and who isn't? Who's on a team that you just think on Monday morning, like, oh, I do not want to sit by them? Okay, yes, we got one brave young man. Thank you. Your name will remain anonymous. So let me tell you a thing about teams. The future is teams. We're in an exciting place right now where HR is evolving. We're moving away from the hero leadership. We're moving away from that individual contributor. And we're seeing the impact teams are having. Up at the top here, in the Fierce Hacker, is the most winningest team the world has ever seen. That's the All Blacks. Winningest is actually a word. I had to Google it the first time I heard it. Their winning streak is something like 80.9%, which is unheard of. They have something really special going on. Down here to the right, we have Christina and Doug from Habanero. Kat was here earlier on. And Habanero, an incredible consultancy group that Arc'teryx has worked closely with, who build teams from Vancouver to Calgary to Winnipeg and wonderful Toronto, and continue to win great places to work. And then down here in blue with a giant trophy is Leicester Football Club. Has anybody heard of Leicester Football Club? Oh my goodness, this was unplanned. Awesome. Leicester, soccer, to some of you that may know football as soccer, are the team that won the 2016 Premier League. They had absolutely no right to. It should have been Liverpool, my team. However, they had something really magic that season. The odds of them winning that Premier League title, which is the equivalent to your Stanley Cup, for any hockey fans, 5,000 to 1, which was the same odds that year as Elvis being found alive. So what is it that the teams and people that love their work all have? What is that magic something? Shocker, it's culture. And the difference between being good and great is culture. I want to share with you the iceberg. At the top, that's our visible organizational culture. That is what you are projecting out to your employees, future employees, and the world at large. It's how you say, things get done here. But let's go below the surface, where I'm most interested. This is the invisible organizational culture. This is the way things really get done around here. This might be what you find out at the water cooler or in the bathroom on day number 2 of your brand new job. Things aren't quite what they said they were. You've got the unwritten rules, you've got the feelings, you've got the stories, the perceptions, the norms, and the traditions that maybe you didn't think to ask in the interview process because you were so wowed and distracted, like the captain of the Titanic. Instead of seeing the iceberg, you just crashed right into it. My favorite quote within HR so far of my career. It's timeless. It is decades old by the great Peter Drucker, and yet it cannot be more important. As Travis said, we are moving into a period of HR's history where an evolution has occurred that the employee is actually very important. Talent is critical for the success of your businesses, and it's on us as business professionals within the HR world, people and culture world, to be responsible and design our employees' experience to bring the best out of them. If we don't, not great things happen. So when I joined Arc'teryx, It was a young company at 26 years old. We're now 30 years old. And in my interview process, I asked every single person that interviewed me, what are the values of this business? I was keen to ensure my personal values married with the company's value. I recorded 21 values. That was not deliberate. What had happened over 27 years under different leadership, under different agencies saying, this is who you are, and employees saying, no, that's not, but we'll keep it written up just to keep you happy because we paid a lot of money for it. There was some confusion. So I was fortunate enough to join a task team that got together and started an archaeological dig, no pun intended. Our logo is a dinosaur that turned into a bird. Some of you may know that, now you do. And we started a process through design thinking, which our friends at Habanero supported us with the framework, to really start to uncover what are the norms, what are the traditions, what is everything below that surface, that then we could go back to the business and say, this is what we found. We found our values, we found our purpose, we found our code of the collective, our behaviors, and then just last year, we redesigned and created our new vision for our business. Why was this important? Well, we're growing. We're growing very fast, and we have a trajectory and some goals that are pretty significant. I started my career in recruitment, and one of my most favorite managers told me, Laura, the fastest way to kill a culture is recruitment. So when I joined Arc'teryx and I had a lot of people to hire, this is something I took on as a very serious responsibility and has since passed down into my talent acquisition team. So here we are. This is us in Shanghai just recently, 2 months ago, delivering the vision, the purpose, the values, and the code of the collective to our Chinese family based in Shanghai. As a global company, it's really important to be able to put our arms around everybody, pay attention to cultural nuances locally, and bring in our Canadian flair, as I like to say. Talking of Canadian flair, that is a beaver. That is our mascot for the day when we launched our vision at ARC1, which is one of our factories in New Westminster. And then here on the right, this was a tradition that was born from that project. It's called Beer and Story. Every 2 weeks, we have an employee share an adventure and experience that speaks to one of our values, mostly live it, which is getting outside and loving it and living it. And that's Dan, our VP of Design, talking about his passion for caving in our pub. You just heard that 70% of people are really not that interested in the work they're doing. This is from the US. 68% people are not engaged. It's a terrifying stat. I've worked in jobs that I have hated, and I now work in a job that I deeply love. For me, it is a travesty that not enough people go to work excited, putting their strengths together, being in acts of service, and really bringing their purpose to life in the work they do. Because it really makes a difference. I fundamentally believe that, whether you're serving in a restaurant, cooking on a line, retail store, whatever it is you're doing, if you don't love it, people feel that. And that feeling is crucial. It gets worse. If you're a global company, around the world, only 13% of people are engaged. There might be one more tear in the room. For me, there's nothing more powerful than looking at Maslow's hierarchy's needs and connecting it to employee engagement. So for those of you that were madly, deeply, passionately in love with your work, you are definitely belonging, feeling importance, and potentially on your trajectory to self-actualization. You're basically the dreamboats of your HR team and your company. You are the highest performers, you're in a succession planning, you're giving that intrinsic extra motivation on a Monday morning, and you're high-fiving on the way out on Friday. And maybe you're doing a bit of work on the weekend, but you're certainly not making a note of it to bring up at your annual review. If you're not loving your work, you're down here. You're not having your security needs met, and you are probably in survival mode. Having been in that role once upon a time, it's not fun. I'm looking at the clock, it's 4:59, 1 more minute, it's 5 o'clock, excellent, I'm just gonna exit stage left and hope nobody sees me or contacts me over the weekend. For me, it is our work as business professionals, as HR professionals, to get into that employee engagement conversation, to take the science of psychology from Maslow and put a strong strategy behind it to start driving the cultures, designing the cultures that are gonna bring your business and your people to life, to really create a happy workplace. And why is it important to be happy? Well, this is my mugshot. Behind me is Jessica. She's our manager of employee experience. And we've just completed one of the funnest workshops that we run, which is around our leadership at Arc'teryx. That was a special day, and some of you may be able to see the faces of our leaders behind. One of our KPIs of that workshop is people leave and they say, when's the next one? And I tell you, when they say that to somebody in HR, having been in other roles where that's not the case of how can we spend more time with our HR team, you understand, then we know we've done a good job. Mr. Simon Sinek said it the absolute best. Happy employees ensure happy customers, and happy customers ensure happy shareholders, in that order. My call to action to you all is if you're not consciously designing your culture, it is time. And it's never too late. You can be a 30-year-old company, a 100-year-old company, but there's time now to start getting into the weeds, understanding what's going on, consciously waking up, taking a deep dive in that, below that surface of that iceberg, and coming up with a strategy that's going to help everybody go home happy at the end of the day. Thank you for listening.
So awesome. Thank you, Laura. Bottom of page 38, you can write your 3, 2, 1, 3 insights, 2 questions, and 1 new opinion formed.